Good morning. This is Dan Hammond. I'm a licensed massage therapist, a certified lymphologist, an essential oils coach, and a health coach. My specialty is helping people with pain as well as, welcome Joe, helping people with pain as well as stress. Not just management, but learning to make stress our friends. And what I wanted to talk about today is making the subconscious our ally. So our subconscious does a phenomenal job. It runs our heart, keeps the blood flowing at a proper temperature and consistency. It runs our lungs, all these things that we don't have to think about. It controls those things and does a very, very good job. But when it comes to managing things, hello Stacy, welcome. When it comes to the subconscious managing upper level functions, we start to run into a problem. You've heard when you do something kind of maybe a little bit silly. I'll give an example. And you say, well, I wasn't paying attention. What happens when we're not paying attention is that the subconscious automatically takes over. And the subconscious, when it comes to those upper level functions, kind of works in generalities. Okay, here's an example. I'd had a long day at work. I was tired, and Kelly says, go sit down on your recliner and relax. So I do. I kick back in my recliner, and I'm starting to meditate and relax, and I'm just getting very relaxed. And I hear a scream from the bathroom. So I jump up and run to the bathroom. And hello, Cheryl, welcome. I run to the bathroom, and there's a cute little spider in the sink. It's a small bathroom, a small sink. Kelly's right in front of the sink, and the toilet paper roll is on the other side of her. And on the side closest to me is a hot wax melt. So I'm standing there beside her. I see the object of her emergency. Hello, Brady. I see the object of her emergency, this cute little spider. So I need to get the toilet paper on the other side of her. And, usually I like to just take it outside. But what happened was I was still so relaxed. I maintained that very relaxed state, and I was kind of still back in the lounger. I see the toilet paper roll on the other side of her, and I reach over and I put my hand in the hot wax. Now, what happened? Okay? What happened? The question would come up. Hello, George. Hey, buddy. So the question would come up. Have any of you ever had opened up a bottle of milk or something like that, taken the cap off in one hand, poured your glass of milk, and then tried to put the milk on the cup, or anything like that scenario? I know I'm not the only one. So what happens is when we're not paying attention, our subconscious automatically takes over. It's just how it works. So you're driving along, you're thinking about something else, and you're not even paying attention to the road, but you're subconscious. You're not so far off that you're not, tied in a little bit, but your subconscious is managing things for you. When we're not paying attention, our subconscious is. And just like the story of going for the wax melt instead of the toilet roll, when I could see the toilet roll, the subconscious works in generalities. Now, why is this so important to understand? Most of the information that our what I call mid-conscious gathers to work with is reached by the time we're 5 years old, because we're just sponges up to that time. Hello, Daniel. Welcome. We're just sponges up to that time. And so the subconscious has to receive information all the time. Subconscious is wonderful. Does such an amazing job on our bodies. But for higher function situations, it's not good and leads to the concept of being in chronic stress and such. But I digress. So the mid-conscious is like a reel-to-reel tape recorder. And Brady, hi Jamie. Brady, I realize that you might be too young to understand what a reel-to-reel tape recorder is, though you probably do. Anyways, it was before the cassette recorder. Brady, are you saying what's a cassette recorder? Okay, so anyways, the reel-to-reel recorder, I have this as the mid-conscious. Hold that picture. I have this philosophy that I've put past a lot of doctors and psychiatrists. Exactly, Brady. I've put this concept that I call the yellow bus principle. Okay, so visualize this long yellow bus, and you're sitting in the back seat, and up in the front seat is the subconscious, and on the seat beside it, the doing the navigating is the mid-conscious, a reel-to-reel tape recorder. Subconscious has to receive information all the time. Okay, so then we have the subconscious, when it comes to the upper level functions, is kind of okay, Brady, I apologize. The subconscious, when it comes to these upper level functions, is works in generalities and is a little bit nearsighted. Okay, that's how this issue happened. Okay, and many issues where we do things silly. So when this rears its head is when you decide you're going to do something, and this little voice comes up and says, no, you can't do that, or I'm not good enough, or any of those messages. That's the reel-to-reel recorder, the mid-conscious, which is trying to give us guidance on an upper level. Does this make sense? Does anybody have any questions about this? So what it means is, see, what we believe comes from what we think about all the time. And what we think about leads to what we believe. Our belief becomes our perspective, and our perspective becomes our reality. Now, that thinking started a long time ago when the subconscious was taking critical information when we were, up to 5 years old, and traumatic experiences afterwards, and given it a warped perspective. And so it's important to understand that of the tens of thousands of thoughts that we have in a day, many of them aren't correct because they're coming from this information that was made in a short-sighted, immature situation. And the importance is that the subconscious isn't trying to mess us up. It's just doing what it does on top of the amazing, hello Patricia, on top of the amazing job it does on running our bodies, running our temperatures. So one thing I do with my clients when we're talking about, this all leads into managing stress. One of the things I do is I have them repeat some questions. Like I have them repeat it with emotion. Say, I am beautiful. I am strong. I am a good person. I am kind. I care about people. And different things that have to do with their life. And if anybody's ever complimented you and it's bounced off you instead of making you warm, that's the subconscious. Thanks, Patricia. That's the subconscious taking those old messages and trying to tell us what to do. So if you say, I'm going to do something, and the little voice says you can't, you turn to that little voice and you say, that's not true. It's just a matter of learning to talk with the subconscious. It's like December 31st, you're making New Year's resolutions, and you say, I'm going to change my life. And 3 weeks later, maybe 3 days later, it's like, right? Because it takes the subconscious to change what we're doing and to make a permanent consistency of that. And on December 31st, it's like talking to this teenager that we've never ever been able to have a relationship with, and all of a sudden wanting to give it some sage advice. And the subconscious is going like, what language are you speaking? Okay? So when something disagrees with us, what we want to do, what we say what we want to do, and we get this message disagreeing with us, you just tell that message, that's not true, and tell your subconscious again what you want to do, or who you are, or what you want to be. And the subconscious will start to listen. So the first thing is being able to have somebody say, Brady, you are an amazing individual. You are a great guy. I'm proud of you. And if it's absorbed then and makes you feel good and powerful, then you're in communication with your subconscious. If it bounces, if it's not accepted when somebody compliments you, then that's that mid-conscious having a program that's not working with it. But we can bring it to the point where the subconscious is listening to everything we're saying. And that's the first point. The first point is being able to go to YouTube and listen to the I am affirmations and have them feel good and make you feel strong. The second step, once you have the attention of your subconscious, is to start laying out goals and plans and specific directions and telling your subconscious what you want. Subconscious has what we have right now, everything we have, how we feel, what we're doing is because of how we've done with letting the subconscious know what we really want. If we have negative thoughts in our mind and we're complaining and we're worried and things like that, so the subconscious thinks that's what makes us happy. And it actually releases chemicals from the brain so that whatever we're dwelling on becomes gives us a little bit of high. So that's where you see somebody who's super negative and they seem to get off on it. It's kind of a chemical rush. So one thing to know and understand is that we can change our feelings just like that. So if we're having a negative thought, a negative feeling, it's releasing chemicals, and it's putting chemicals in our mind, and it's making us feel that way. So you want to have a happy thought. You want to have something that's made you really, really happy, and be able to think about that. When the subconscious receives one of these messages, like you were really upset at your boss and you're thinking about it 3 days later, it doesn't know if you're experiencing that or remembering that. So it releases all of the chemicals, and this is part of chronic stress, which is a killer. And we'll talk about that another day. So you take and you replace that thought with a happy thought, a memory you have of something that was wonderful, and you embrace it. And the subconscious doesn't know if you're remembering it or you're experiencing it, and gives you all of the chemicals. So we want to get to the point where we're not allowing negative thoughts to be in our mind, because our thoughts guide our life. Once we can communicate with our subconscious, it's like I say to people, we have this beautiful chariot with 2 white horses, beautiful stallions. And most people don't understand we have the reins. This is our life, and this is how the subconscious works with us to take us where we're going. But we have to pick up the reins. We have to learn to ally the subconscious. So please communicate with me if anything I might be able to help you with. And thank you for being with us today. Does anybody have any other questions? And if not, we'll just say goodbye. And if you got any value out of this, please share it with your friends. Take care. Bye.